Hello.
Hello, how are we?
Another week's passed.
Guess what?
What?
Guess what?
What?
We're on new waters.
So yes, we've managed to get, I think this is 3 weeks of the trot, we've actually managed to get our video out. We're getting a bit better at this again at the moment.
You've
if
spoken.
it uploads tonight, of course.
Now you've spoken, haven't you?
Depends if it uploads. But yes, we're on new waters, South Oxford Canal.
Yes, as far as Banbury.
And then Banbury Festival. And I went to a really interesting talk at Tooleys Boatyard as part of their Heritage Week.
Yeah.
So we hope you enjoy it. We hope you find it interesting. There's some really interesting history around Tooleys Boatyard and some of the local boats. So we hope you do find that interesting, because that's something a bit different.
Definitely.
Thank you so much to everyone that came to Banbury Festival and supported all the traders there. It was a fantastic weekend.
Met loads more of you.
We did. It was great.
Lovely to see you.
And we'll see you at the end.
At the other end. So push the button, ring the bell. It's free to you, the world. Banbury. Where else? Tooleys, and also that marina we stayed at.
Property.
Yeah, there you go too.
See you at the
in a
end.
bit.
New waters.
Dun dun dun!
Another grey murky day. And we're going down towards flood-ridden Banbury. So wish us luck.
No, it's not. I think it's just overflow water.
A lot of it is coming off the fields.
Oh right, okay, I didn't know that. Oh, there you go then.
So yeah, gonna see how we go. It just seems doomed, this whole Banbury weekend at the moment.
That's Braunston.
It is. So we might be turning back and going that way.
Is Warwick. And that way towards is Banbury.
We'll see how we go.
South Oxford Canal, here we come. They said about the water coming off the fields. It's right, isn't it? So we're into Napton Bottom Lock. One of 6 or 8, I can't remember which, and well, working our way slowly. Must have been high tide here, because, well, there's a boat in a field. So that's the old engine arm, just outside of Lock 14, I think it is. It goes to nowhere. Did you know that?
Well, most arms do.
Do they? Why? Yours goes to your fingers or your shoulders. Well, the Southern Oxford Canal is celebrating its 250th year this year. Makes Banbury a special one then. So there's a CRT hut at the bottom and the work shed with a car park, 4 CRT workers, a bit of a skip and toilets, and then the Folly Inn, which is just behind the end of the old toll house. So there you go. So I believe this is the top of the climb, and then we've got the long stretch, but we're going to stop for lunch first. I'm going to walk back for the van, move it up to here, but we've got the niceties of having old cars as well to look at as we come up the lock. So we've just come out the wharf, and I had a jerry can full. We've come up the straight, we've passed the boat who insisted on coming through, and well, we're coming up this bit. Goes fairly singular and narrow, so, and I must admit, sometimes I feel that I'm going uphill, because the water, you look along the boat and it just every now and again, I know that water stays on a level equal plane and we're on the top of the pound and we're ready to go down. But you know when you just stand there and think that things are getting hard, it just looks as though the water is actually going uphill from here. And I know it's a thing of mind-bending bracket, but you've got to have a laugh. Bridge 137, called Tunnel Bridge. There must have been a reason why. Whether it's tunnel on the cut, just being narrow and deep, or whether it had a roof over it, I don't know. But a little bit explanatory for why it's so narrow. No, Hill Farm glamping. Nice place for it, isn't it? So somewhere just before Bridge 124, there is such a thing as a sheep wash on the bend. Now I wonder why. Any clues? See whether we can see it. I don't think that is it. Looks a little bit solid to be a sheep wash. Hey ho, I don't know. But it must be for ducks, mustn't it? There you go, it must be that. Sheep washing. How do sheep? Oh, these are beautiful little areas for moorings. I can imagine it being a little bit wild when the wind gets up and the rain's here, but it's beautiful enough. And we've got an entrance to probably a workyard as well on the other side, but that's behind. Behind the hedge. It'll probably be blocked off so you can't see what's happening. But yeah, this is such a beautiful spot. Yeah, can't get down there, but that's Bridge 142. You wouldn't think so after all that rain, but never guess what. See whether you can tell in a minute. There you go. I can't see where I'm going now. Sun's out. So, I wondered when we were going to get to one of these. Lift bridges that you actually pull down to get over. You leave them up apparently. This is the first one we've done like this. All the rest of them have been down. There you go. Underneath it we have a chain, the field, and it is for the farmers. I'm going to bounce off the edge. And that's how they're left. So we can keep going by. So my thoughts on this canal is it's just like the Chesterfield. Very shallow. And just take your time to do it, because no matter how little you have of power, you seem to go nowhere. However much power you have, you seem to go nowhere. And if you get in the wrong point, you end up with bow waves at the back of your boat, because you're moving that much water and there isn't that much power on. Nice to actually see the lock keeper's cottage or hut actually working. They've got a blackboard saying what day, how many boats up, how many boats down, and messages on. And it's got follow us on Clayton Locks or Claydon Locks 19 middle lock. There we go. And it's actually working because it's got, not that you can see it, it's got fire on inside. There's smoke coming out the chimney, and I only noticed the heat haze as I came down in towards it. So we've just come through lock 23, Varney's lock, and we've got some more boats here, so we're going slowly. And yeah, we've seen some nice boats today. Top of the lock there's been a couple of vicious geese, very noisy, farm geese, not Canadian geese. But there's a nice little mooring spot there to get yourself blacked. So, want to watch it for future, but we'll see how we get on. So as we've just come past, or just before we come past Croppedy, just out of Varney Lock, there's a proper roamery caravan. And those of you that might have seen, I'd painted one of them on a wheelbarrow for Christmas. Oh dear, that's a bit poorly, isn't it? It's amazing what you see as you go along. A couple of old wooden boats, past the point of, and a little graveyard. It's a shame. but it happens. So this must be the famous Croppedy Marina. As it's our first time coming down here, we can only take a guess. But it looks peaceful and beautiful. And well, one day we'll get in it. So, not a sight you see every day. We've got the cows in the field, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a couple, isn't there, in the water. You'll see them move in a minute as they go past, probably, unless it's very friendly cows that don't scare too easily. There are a few little calves there, aren't there? Very cute. Just stood eating. That's calm, that, and cool and gorgeous. So as we enter lock 28, we have the lockhouse, and I'll tell you what, it looks a really nice lockhouse.
How many hundreds of thousands of pounds that would be for sale for?
Yeah, knockdown price, I'll have 3 of them. We can afford it. Probably be loads of work to turn around and have do, but it'd be worth it, wouldn't it? Yeah. Right, all being well, this is the last lock, unless we're going to go turn around this. I thought this was 28. I don't know. Let's have a look in the book.
We've got to lock number 28, and the water levels are so high you can't walk across the plank across the lock.
Well, you can.
Well, you can, but you get very wet feet to do the paddles, and it's pouring over the top of the lock gate as well. This is the first lock we've come across that's been like this. They were all like this a week ago, but this is the first one that's still like it now. Yeah. Hey ho. It has stopped raining for a few days, but it's going to start again on Sunday, so it's not going to change anytime soon. Here we go, coming into Banbury. Just managed to get a very small piece of video with a blue flash in it as the Kingfisher went up ahead of us. Twice, yep. And we're just about to go under Bridge 164, and we're trying to have a look to see if there's somewhere we can park the van down here as well. Hopefully we'll find somewhere, and then we're going to go down through lock 29 and Wind, and back up onto our mooring for the weekend.
Are you burping again? So we've just come out the lock at Banbury, and I thought, happy days, we're there. Let's just hope the jerry can don't run out. But no, we got out the lock and we had no throttle, no reverse, no nothing, and I'm off to a winding hole. So yeah, fortunately we got another cable, and I thought, happy days, we'll turn around and just like change the cable because it's the shift cable. As it turned out, when I opened up the top, it was the, sorry, I'm paying attention to where I'm going to. It turned out that the actual threaded bit of the cable that had changed the other week had just worked itself loose. So I've just screwed it back on, get it sorted to get up and through. So I'm going again. Let's turn around and get on with it. Wind, get back, and then do the lock again.
After the complete washout we had at Tipton Festival a couple of weeks ago, the sun's decided to shine on us today, and it's really bringing the crowds out here at Banbury, which is fantastic. You can see some of the trading boats down that side and historics, and I'll turn around the other way so you can see the other side. Here's the other side, that's where we're moored, just down there. And then there's more historics, and then you've got the Historic Tooleys Boatyard, which have got a festival and events going on right the way through from the 3rd to, I believe, the 10th or the 11th of October. So hopefully we'll get down there at some stage over the weekend and the evenings. After a very successful but very tiring weekend of trading, poor Mister's back in the engine bay again, trying to get these engine problems resolved once and for all before he fits the new fuel filter He's going to put a pump, no, before he fits the new fuel pump, he's going to put a filter in the line in between the tank and the pump, aren't you?
Yeah.
So up there is the filter that's going to go in. So he's been chasing around all morning trying to find parts, and he's going to fit it in. So hopefully by the time we get back, he'll have a smile on his face.
Yeah, okay.
Following the festival over the weekend, the Village Butty and Tooleys Boatyard have actually got events going on for the whole week this week. So it's now Monday afternoon and we've come for a talk on the history of Tooleys Boatyard. So it should be really interesting. Tooleys Boatyard was originally called Morse Marine. Here's a picture of Fenny Tunnel, constructed in 1786. Started to be opened up in 1838. Tooleys Boatyard has been in existence since 1778. Boats used to be launched sideways into the canal. We've just had a really interesting talk from Matt, and just come outside quickly to get a bit of video footage before it gets dark and before there's too many people out here. So that brick building there is the forge. I'm just going to go up and see if I can get a shot inside of it. So here we go, you can see inside the forge. There's not anyone working in here today, but it is a working forge, and we will show you some of the pieces that we've been shown and put some more information on the video for you. And they do bespoke orders from here as well, and lessons on becoming a blacksmith. So if you're interested, I'll pop all the links below. Just come outside of the yard quickly, and there's the outside of the front of the forge. It's a winch here, a Young's winch. Young's was founded in 1856 in Birmingham. Here's an example of a copper, which was a washing machine used until the mid 20th century. Clothes were boiled in them and then put through the mangles. And here's an old range from an original narrowboat called Hardy. I'll try and get some pictures of Hardy as well. It's not open to go into today, but there is a gift shop and a chandlery here as well. Got the machine shop just there. Got the Village Butty here. They've been working really, really hard all weekend, provided fantastic entertainment and jollity for everyone. And this is Lion, which was constructed in 1943. And although the Lion itself is only 16 foot long, it's got a 4.5 litre engine in it. Originally built as an icebreaker commissioned by the government. Good view of the dry dock here, so you can see the framework over the top there, which used to get moved up and down along. So it's quite funny to think that we're actually sat in the dry dock, and it is still a working dry dock. And you can see down the sides, there is the water channels, there's the planks are at the back, and there's obviously a bit of leakage. I'm only going this way because there obviously probably be people in here that don't want to be on film, so I'm just showing you this front end of it. There we go, I've got a better view of the wooden structure from here, and you can see that it's still used. It's got lots of pieces of materials hung on it, ropes and electrical wires, etc. And there you can see the planks in place for ensuring it stays the dry dock whilst we've been in it. After the talk this afternoon, the boatyard, the shop is now open, and there is a display and a museum in here as well, with lots of really interesting information in, and lots of tools. Definitely worth coming over and having a look at. More in-depth information available in this book, link below. There you can see Tooleys Boatyard from the opposite side of the canal. So I've been away for 3 hours this afternoon, and I come back and he's still in the engine bay. And he's got his buddy here now too. Here we go, moment of telling. Turned the engine on so it can prime the filter. Make sure there's no leaks, and then we can fire her up and see if she works. And you can see just there in the centre of the screen, that chrome coloured top is the new filter that's been fitted in to hopefully save the life of our pumps in the future. good sound. That means we got fuel coming out of our tank. Currently moored opposite us, you can see Narrowboat Hardy, who was the last wooden narrowboat built in 1940 for Samuel Barlow Coal Company. Obviously it was used to carry coal. She then was a pleasure craft for a while, and she then unfortunately sunk up at Braunston. So in 2018, Tooleys Boatyard raised her and brought her down here, and they now got her as an ongoing restoration project.
So there you go, another video and more interesting learning.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I didn't do the learning because I didn't go to Tooleys Museum.
As you saw, he was down the engine bay, but touch wood,
How did I guess that one was coming?
we've just had a cruise without a breakdown.
Yeah, okay. I'm not counting my chickens.
No,
Not
and
that
it
we've
takes
got
a
any
while
chickens.
to rebuild the confidence when you have breakdowns, doesn't it?
Well,
But all so good, so far so good at the moment.
so next week we're going to go what we call off-grid.
A couple of days out planned.
Oh, okay. Is it that sort of thing? Right. Anyway, I'm not going to waffle. I'm not going to be silly. I'm going to say, push the button, ring the bell, free to everybody. So share it, because you never guess what. There might be something that you miss if you don't, or they might have something that they miss. So we'll see you next week.
Have a good week.
We're going to go off grid to do some visits, and I recommend you watch it. See you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. It's a good one.